Hi, this is Dana from Sony's Oriental Market, and today I'm featuring some information on seasoning mixes that we have available in our store. A lot of people are interested in making Oriental, or to be politically correct, Asian food, but our store name is Sony's Oriental Market, 307 South Mission Street between Kittitas and Spokane. And if you're interested in making some kind of an Oriental entree, some cuisine, and you don't know what to do or where to start, I personally don't cook at all. And what I've done is I've come in here, and what I tried when I first started out attempting to cook was a NOH brand Chinese barbecue seasoning mix. I did it wrong and it was clumpy, but it actually still tasted great. I was really surprised. These seasoning mixes range from, I would say, anywhere from, I think the lowest cost one would be $1.25 all the way up to I think $3.50 is the most expensive one that we have. Just to give you an idea, this says Chinese style egg flour soup mix. So you've gone to a Chinese restaurant and possibly had this, because this is normally a complimentary soup that you get before your meal. So this egg flour soup mix, I'm not really sure why, because Chinese products tend to be the most affordable products, usually in any Oriental store, or even American one, as we all know. But this is a Kikkoman brand. So I don't know how you say that, Kikkoman? Kikkoman is generally, I would say, medium to higher end priced, which is why when you go to Safeway or Fred Meyer, you see this brand a lot of the times, and it's usually not cheap. So that might be why. $3.50 for a Chinese style egg flour soup mix. So that's the upper end of the seasoning mixes. I would say most of these products are much more economically priced. Let's take, for example, this No Chinese barbecue brand. That is basically, let me give you an example. Okay, so one package No Chinese barbecue seasoning mix, a half cup of water, 1.5 pounds pork. How easy is that? So you basically go to the grocery store, get a hunk of meat, and follow the directions here, which I did not do. This was add package of seasoning mix to a half cup water. Mix thoroughly. So I didn't do that, and mine ended up clumpy. I ate it anyway, and it actually tasted great. So you can't actually really make much of a mistake on some of these seasoning mixes. They're very, very simple. All right, so that is an example of Chinese barbecue seasoning mix. Price is $1.60. Okay, we're in the year 2015 in case those prices go up at some point. Okay, let's talk about some other ones. Let's talk about a Filipino favorite. Growing up, this brand, a lot of people think seasoning mixes aren't genuine or authentic. But I remember growing up, and amongst at least the Filipino recipes, I remember the only way to actually cook a meal was with these Mamacita seasoning mixes. So if you're concerned about flavor, authenticity, I'll go ahead and try to give you an idea. So we've got one brand here, Mamacita's Tocino seasoning mix versus Mamacita's adobo savory sauce mix. Growing up, I don't ever remember my mom using a package of adobo savory sauce mix, the main ingredients in chicken adobo, which is probably, I would say, the main Filipino nationally known common popular food that maybe we know in America. It's basically soy sauce, vinegar, I can't remember, the bay leaves, salt and pepper, onion, potatoes possibly, and chicken. So if you're interested in Googling how to make adobo, A-D-O-B-O, of course, we've got soy sauce, which I'll explain what we have as far as soy sauce goes. Soy sauce, you think of soy sauce maybe like an American might think of mayonnaise or salad dressing. Basically, soy sauce is soy sauce to you, but amongst, maybe the Oriental people, the brand matters to them. So we've got a lot of brands of soy sauce that, affects the flavor of your food. Okay, going back to the Mamacita's Tocino marinating mix. This is priced at, I believe, $1.50. Tocino marinating mix. Let's take a look at the ingredients. Tocino basically, well, in Spanish, tocino means bacon. So the Philippines has a lot of Spanish roots. The ingredients in this mix are cane sugar, salt, annatto powder, and citric acid, so pretty natural ingredients. The directions are 1 pouch of Mamacita's marinating mix to 1.1 pounds of meat. Okay, so Tocino can be used. I remember eating Tocino as pork, and here it doesn't specify that you should use pork, but I would say pork is probably the most common and popular meat to use with Mamacita's Tocino marinating mix. A lot of Filipino people like Tocino as a frozen product, and we actually have a very limited supply of frozen products, maybe like 10. And Tocino does happen to be one of them. So we have a frozen Tocino. I believe it comes in 2 meat varieties. It might be chicken and pork, but I have those here in the freezer. They cost, I think, $5.50, around that. So if you want to try it a different way, try this mix. I personally have not tried it, so I can't give you any advice in that category. I would say the frozen Tocino is pretty savory tasting, so I'd probably go with that versus a seasoning mix. Mamacita's stew base mix. Let's take a look here. This is one of the lower priced ones also. Anything that's Mamacita is a product of Marigold Manufacturing Corporation, Metro Manila, Philippines, product of the Philippines. Stew base, 1 pouch Mamacita stew mix, 1 kilogram oxtail cut into 1.5 lengths, 10 cups of water, 10 pieces of long green beans. Okay, so those long green beans, I remember that. It's very authentic for Filipino food. Sometimes you'll go to like Ranch 99 in Seattle. It's very, very hard to get those here in Wenatchee, but you can substitute them with, I remember one thing my mom used was purple beans, and she also used green beans. So you don't have to necessarily use the long green beans, but that is more of an authentic Filipino dish. 2 pieces of eggplant. Eggplant, definitely. That is very standard in Filipino recipes. Also very easy to find in the Wenatchee area. 3/4 cup peanut butter. Okay, that's kind of a thickener. My mom never used peanut butter in her stews, so that's kind of a alternative option. 13 pieces of bok choy leaves. Okay, now here it looks like the possibly Chinese rendition or some other language. Pechay, P-E-C-H-A-Y. I remember it called bok choy when I grew up, and my dad grew it in the garden. I think everybody knows what bok choy is. You can generally find them in any American grocery store. If it's something you've never tried, try it. It tastes great. It's very nutritious, and it's just kind of like a healthy, thicker spinach type of product, except for it's almost, I would say it's almost tasteless, really. It doesn't really have a flavor, but the stalk on it, you don't want to waste. You want to cut the stalk, and then the leafy part you actually put in later in the recipe. So you throw the stalk in, and then the leafy part put in later. Shrimp paste, sauteed bagoong. In the Philippines, bagoong is actually known as a poor people's food. So a lot of times when people didn't have money, they would just get rice, and then they would get bagoong. It comes in a jar. I'm sure I've got it here somewhere. Yes. It is, no, yes, buenas. 360, bagoong alamang. I do not know Tagalog or my dialect, although I was a native speaker at one time. But I know a few words. Salted tiny shrimp. You don't see shrimp, you actually see smashed shrimp. So it's like pink. You can also find bagoong as a brown color. I would say it's one of the products that, I'm kind of looking at the jar here, the consistency is a little thicker on the bottom. What's up, Amanda? My best friend is here pricing the seasoning mixes right now, and if you have any questions too, Amanda is more of a specialist in Japanese. What kind of recipes do you know? Japanese, and you know more of the Japanese cuisine, right? Japanese? Okay. So Amanda is more of a specialist with Japanese cuisine. I'm going to turn off the air conditioner now just to reduce the back.